All right, welcome guys. So this is our first video here together. Um, you've all got the note sheet in front of you, so just follow along with what the major topics are that I shared with you. Those are the big things that you should be focusing on writing down as you go. Just remember, you don't have to write everything that's on the slides. Just like you can also write down things that I'm saying as we go along, because I'll try to add in some extra input and other things that I think are key ideas for you here. But just know these notes are your reference. Okay, so when I look through these and check them out, I'll just be seeing that you have some good information down, and it's up to you to decide how much and how thorough you want to be. If you want to write everything on the slide, more power to you. If you want to write the main ideas and shorten it or summarize, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, these things are your reference. You'll use them as we do the quizzes between each of the sections here. So we'll do 5 videos and notes altogether for chapters 5 and 6. And as we go along, just make sure that you're stopping when you need to. Go ahead and pause, rewind, make sure you're writing down everything that you feel that you really need to get. Okay? So we kick off here at Chapter 5 with the Congress and the legislative branch, which is often known as the people's branch of government because they are the closest to us. It's the only branch of government that's completely elected by the people. If you look at the executive branch, a lot of offices, cabinet positions, people that are directly influencing the president are picked by him. We don't get to pick those people. They're going to come from his political party, but we don't necessarily get to pick that. The judicial branch, totally chosen by the president and approved by the Congress. So Congress, the group that makes our laws, that's directly impacting how our lives go, is the only branch that's actually chosen directly by us. All right, so as we just look at the basic facts of the Congress here. So we're talking about senators and representatives. Okay, so if we think about our local level, so our senators, Heidi Heitkamp, John Hoeven, right? There are 2 senators and our representative, Kevin Cramer. So they're the people that are picked to meet in Washington, D.C. for the sessions of Congress, talk about the laws that we think should go into place in the country, and be the ones that decide what they should look like and when they should be chosen. You can see here the Capitol building as it is on Washington. There's going to be 2 major meeting halls in here. One for the House of Representatives, one for the Senate, as well as a lot of smaller meeting halls where the committees can meet up, and we'll talk about them at a later date. So the session for these guys is going to start every year in January, and they'll have a set idea as far as what they want to get done in the year, and when the session ends at the end of the year, in December, it's actually going to cut off, and anything that they didn't get done gets pushed to the next year and could even get pushed to the back of the line. So they can't always cover everything they would like to in a given year, but they do as much as they can, and it's a pretty busy schedule for them. So the first of the 2 sides of Congress to talk about is the House of Representatives. So this is the larger house, has 435 members altogether. And remember, this is the branch, or this is the part of Congress that is based on state populations. Okay, so the bigger the state is, with the more people that you have, the more representatives you have. Okay, so California, our state with the largest population, has 53 representatives that each are picked from a different district, as we call it, from the state, a different piece of the state. North Dakota, not a lot of people in our state, even though the size is pretty big, only gets 1 representative. Okay, you could even compare that so with Rhode Island, the smallest size state in the country, but they have actually 2 representatives, even though they're size-wise much smaller than North Dakota. They have more people in the state than we do. The representatives in the House are serving shorter terms, so only 2 years that they're picked for. So these are the people that are usually trying to vote on laws that are directly impacting the district that they're in. So in North Dakota, they're representing the whole state. But in a state like California, it might be a small area of the state that they're actually representing. And if people don't like the kind of laws that they're passing or the way that they're voting, they could get kicked out, right? Not reelected for the next term. Currently, the leader of the House of Representatives, as we call him, the Speaker of the House, is John Boehner, as we've tried to remember on some of our quizzes in class here. This is him, John Boehner. He'd be the most powerful person in the Senate because he's the one that chooses what topics are going to be talked about and what order and who gets to speak. So just a little preview here. as far as how many votes each state gets, it's broken down in alphabetical order here for you. You can look and see where each state ranks. Obviously, some of the big ones: California, Texas, New York, Florida, some of the southern states. If you want to go by the map, which makes it a little bit easier, you can see here the number on top of each state. This also is an interesting one because it shows you every 10 years when they do the census, when they count how many people are living in the country and how many in each state, each city, everything, it can change. So the number of representatives in the House is always going to be 435, but depending on where that population is spread out to, you could gain or lose votes. So you see the gray ones all stayed the same in 2010 from the year 2000. The ones that are dark blue, they actually gained some representatives. So the likes of Florida, Texas, Nevada here, these ones are all getting bigger. Okay, so they got more representatives. The ones that are in orange here actually lost some representatives. All right, so a little more info on the speaker here. He's going to be elected at the beginning of each 2-year term. So Boehner, once he's reelected to the House, the whole House of Representatives is going to vote, and whichever person they vote for that gets the majority of votes is going to become the new Speaker of the House. So this is going to almost always come from whichever political party has the most power in the House at that time. So currently there's more Republicans in the House of Representatives, so John Boehner, a Republican, is chosen as the Speaker of the House. It gives the Republicans more power because they can focus on and control the debate, control which laws are coming out in a way that helps the Republicans more. So they're the leader of the majority party, typically. Doesn't have to go that way, but we usually don't see it where the minority party would be elected. They help keep order and make sure that the rules of the House are being applied, that they're following the correct procedures. And they could be in office as long as their political party is actually there. Okay, a guy named Sam Rayburn is the longest ever served. He had 17 years where he was the Speaker of the House. And that's the longest that we've ever seen. That's a pretty long time for his political party to hold power in the House of Representatives too. The other important thing about the Speaker is that as we look at who would take over president should the president die, the Speaker of the House is actually third in line. So we have the president, and if he dies, the vice president would take over, Joe Biden. And if he were to die or be killed, then it would actually be the Speaker of the House. So John Boehner would be the third person to actually be the President of the United States. Okay. All right, so that's what we're going to hold for now, guys. That's the look at the lower house, as we call it, the House of Representatives. Make sure, check back, rewind if you need to catch on some of this info. If I move too fast for you, pause it, get everything that you feel is important written down, and use your notes as you go through that quiz, the short quiz. Use your notes. Hopefully you can answer all the questions pretty successfully based on what we've talked about here. All right, thanks guys. See you next time.